Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. We are so excited to have our next guest joining us here today, Marketa Huzel joining us. She's the founder of Kaleidoscope of Life. Beautiful woman. I can feel her energy and excited she's here, hailing from it's Saskatchewan in Canada, correct?
Indeed. Hello and welcome. Thanks for
Well,
having me.
I have a friend that actually grew up there, so I'm familiar. I've never been, but here it's a beautiful, beautiful town.
It is. It sure is very, I would say welcoming. It's different than, big cities in North America, but
Hmm.
yeah,
Well,
I just moved here 2 years ago from Calgary, which had a very different vibe. So I'm still
ah,
kind of new and exploring.
beautiful. Well, it's an honor to have you here. Excited to talk to you, to get to know you, and of course, find out more about, the work that you're doing. But I always like starting off with, having people get to know you first. Let's share the website right away. Tell us how we can contact you.
Sounds good. So the best way to contact me is to go to my website. That is marketahuzel.com. Probably should spell it my name because it's very unusual.
Yes,
Not
yes. Good
it's not
idea.
local. So marketahuzel.com. And you can send me a message to there and you will see the social media I'm on generally is LinkedIn these days. So if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, feel free to do so. We can chat there or you can send me an email through website. That will be great as well.
Beautiful. And as a transformational coach, I know there's so much that you're helping people with, but I also want to commend you on your beautiful children. You have a 10-year-old and a 5-year-old, right?
Correct. Yes, they are amazing. They're the best teachers of life, I have to say.
Yeah, my son just turned 10 and the other one's turning 8 in 3 weeks. So I get it. As a
You
mom,
get totally right. Yes.
I
Yeah.
can relate. Well, first and foremost, thank you for being here. And obviously, you're here to help, really coach high achievers, right? To discover what they really want, what they truly want, and help them through the stage. Before we get to that, let me find out about you. Tell us, where you're from and tell me your journey and path here. What brought you down this path to help others this way?
Right. So I'm originally from Europe. I was born in the Czech Republic.
Wow.
I had lots of experiences, um, good ones, obviously, uh, that taught me lots of lessons too. But then when I started working in the corporate America, let's put it that way, because I was
Yeah.
hired for international company in Prague.
Okay.
I met my future husband, and that's what made me to move to Canada. And we
Wow.
moved to Calgary for work and our life, and then stayed there for 15 years. And corporate life was wonderful until it wasn't. And that's how actually my own transformation started because I could realize that something was off and not the same way it used to be. And because I was looking for help, obviously help myself to get out of the place I was in, I realized there's so many people that would benefit from the discoveries I had. And so I was, on the journey since my daughter was born pretty much
Wow.
and started doing this work very shortly after because I needed to figure out why and what really makes me feel good. And so then I realized I could help so many people because there's so many feelings similar in, I mean, different situations, right? Not everybody's got the
Yeah.
same path,
Well,
but
I
we're all
also
humans.
read that you wanted to be a teacher, you said, right? And that was one of the
Yeah.
things that you wanted to do. Then you were thinking about architecture, but then you got to start traveling. How did you start traveling the world? And at what age did you do that? That's awesome.
Well, I love to travel. There was always something deep inside of me, and we actually haven't, we haven't spent any time together yet to actually get to the full story. But I always have those deep feelings for things that they were happening in the future. So as a little child, I was always uh, interested in traveling and wanted to travel and living in a communist country where traveling was very limited and there were rules where you could
Hmm.
travel. I had opportunities due to my relatives that we could go travel in the West and I could see um, the potential and I could see that life could be different. And I always questioned things. Why do we have to live this way and why can't we live elsewhere? So I remember as a little kid, I always wanted to travel and I had some kind of desire to live outside of my country as much as, I miss it in some ways. I miss Europe in some ways because it's very different lifestyle. But on the other hand, I always had a knowing that
Yeah.
I need to and want to live somewhere else. So I was always prone to that, but I traveled as a child, and then as a teenager and as an adult. So I've always traveled a lot because I always loved exploring new places, meeting new people and new cultures. Right? I speak several languages, so it was helpful
Wait,
to
how many languages do you speak?
several. So it always helped me to, get to know people and understand the way they live more than just, you know, the way I was born or in the country I was born.
Well, this is
So
beautiful, and I commend you on this. And I know that can't be easy, leaving your home, but to follow your dreams and your passions, which is amazing that you've done this. And then you get into the corporate world and you realize, well, there's more out there. And then I also read, and I commend you on this because we have this in common as well. You mentioned fertility challenges, if you don't mind sharing with everyone.
no, definitely
Um,
not.
I had the same thing, and it took me about 5 times with in vitro fertilization to get pregnant with my first child that I had by myself. So that was hard. The second one was a miracle because I was doing fertility drugs. I was all of a sudden fertile, but I got goosebumps thinking of you and saying
So
prayers
do
for your
I,
babies
because
because
I
it
can
is
relate.
the hardest thing. I'm gonna cry. I'm so emotional. This is beautiful. So would you
It's
mind
so
sharing that
good.
challenge in your life?
Oh no, of course not. I was always kind of a planner, right? I want to have things aligned, and so kind of how it all was when I met my husband. I was 26, I believe, 26, 20, yeah, 26, 26, 27. And I always thought, hey, if we ever stay together, obviously we have to agree on which continent we need to stay. And so we
Aw.
agreed we're going to go to Canada. And so I had understanding that things will change and things may, take longer than I originally planned. Having two kids by the age of 30 definitely was not, anywhere close to reality at the time. So
Uh-huh.
so that didn't go that way. And when, I thought, hey, I need to move, I need to find the work I want to do, make enough money, have the house, I create a nest for the family and all that stuff. So that was working according to the plan beautifully, actually, because of my experiences and connections. And I'm super grateful for all that. And then what happened is he said, okay, we are ready. Like it's, I was 35. It's like, I'm ready. Like we should have the babies now. And then we realized they were just not coming. And so then we went through tests and all that stuff and realized, well, we do need help. And so there's another beautiful moment that actually for us, we were so lucky that the first time it worked out. But there's kind of the thing, there were two embryos that they were supposed to be, you know, doing their thing. And then when we went for the ultrasound, there was just one. So there's just a mixture of the happiness that there is one,
Such
but there's
goosebumps.
but there's the concern of like, where's the other one, right? But it's all good. Everything went fine. Ruby was born healthy, happy. Everything was fine. And then when the true challenge started was when we said, hey, let's have the other one. And, kind of that was the plan. And that didn't happen. And that didn't happen because, for some reason, the embryos we had, nothing worked out. And then I think it was six miscarriages later.
Oh,
And IVF circles, we said, enough is enough. Or, it was actually three in vitro after. I was like, yeah, that's fine. We'll just let it go. And then that's what happened, that my mind got turned upside down and I realized what's truly important in life, right? Like the work was not giving me the same benefits in terms of personal
yeah.
satisfaction and fulfillment as
Hmm.
it used to before. And so that's how I discovered that something has to change. And why am I not happy when I've got everything I wanted? I have beautiful family, right? I've got a daughter, my husband, we have a house, I've got a great job, career's been fine, but suddenly inside it's just not working the way it's supposed to. And so that's, how I dove into the personal development area and started working on myself because literally I was not managing myself as I, according to expectations, mine and outside either, right? From the work perspective. So that's how I got on that. on this journey, which was obviously amazing, but I was looking at what am I gonna do? How can I help myself? How can I help people? Because I realized I am here to help, but I didn't know how yet, right? So we got there. We got there. And then when we said we are not gonna think about another baby anymore, we we were nudged, or I was specifically nudged by a couple of my friends, and it was, when something happens once, you just kind of brush it off, but it happens twice or three times from the people you really care. And it's like, maybe we should revisit that thought. And so we did. And then we went back to the clinic and they ran the test again and everything. They said, you know what, you guys are fine. There's nothing, there's nothing that we found the first time around. So you are, you know,
Free to
better off
go. And good luck.
saving some money.
Yeah, a lot of money. Yes.
Right. And so we did. And then suddenly our son came out and it's just like miracle, on the way. So we're happy
Well,
with two and
Marketa,
it's all
thank you.
good.
Well, it's a beautiful
Yeah.
story, and thank you for bringing us on this journey and getting to know you. I think that it sets a big precedent on, who you are and how you're helping people. So, now, by the way, let's move over to how you're helping them because you have great success stories. We'll talk about some if we have time today, and of course, you can always go to the website. Everyone, don't forget it's spelled Marketa Huzel, and you can go right there to find out more information. And I would love to now find out more about this kaleidoscope of life and the type of coaching and the services that you provide.
Yeah. So that was a journey on its own because obviously I knew what I wanted to do, right? I wanted to help people. And then I realized, well, how am I going to do that? So me diving into coaching and tapping into actually meditation and mindfulness, that was my intuition that led me there. I just knew, right? Like one of those knowings we have, or those people who are more, I would say, intuitive. They kind of, I mean, everybody should have that, and everybody has that. It's just not everybody feels like they can access it very well, right? The intuition. So I tapped into that and said, hey, I need to look into meditation and look inside because I knew the answers were there. And so I did find a coach and then found through that coach another coach that I connected with. And actually, she became my coach through my certification because once I talked to her, the sparkle just, you know, sparkled, right? And I realized that's what I want to do. I want to help people realize who they are, what they want, and how to get to the goal they think they want, right? And I did want to use intuition because I thought it's very empowering when people just don't use logic all the time. I'm a very logical person. Don't get me wrong. I work with engineers and
Hmm.
and lots of things are very technical, but also I love the fact that everybody is capable of using their intuition and they should. And so they will discover way more about themselves and how they operate if they let go of the 3D world of just what they see around them, right? So I started getting certification, which was about a year and a half of my journey to make sure I don't mess up with people's minds because anybody can call themselves a coach. And I wanted to be credible and have the certification. But that's just the basic, it's the foundation that teaches, you know, people how to help or what are the techniques. But then whatever I do, it's really up to me because I still keep growing and learning from other coaches and reading lots of, psychology and other books that are important and they help to shape my clients. So what I want to do is, to discover who they are by looking into their values and belief systems. And then we can look at where my clients are coming from, what is making them happy or unhappy, why they're stuck and where they're stuck in life. And so then we can take them apart beautifully and then choose what they want to keep and what they want to let go, and then recreate the whole new life they want to create.
I love it. And now let me ask, I mean, the coaching you're doing, is it mostly one-on-one? Do you do group sessions? And normally, how long does it take to start working with someone like yourself to start seeing a change?
It is. I do one-on-ones because I love them the most.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can get to deepest places of my clients, and they get exactly what they need, right? Because they're not bound with other people, or there's no other kind of rush through a module. It's literally what they need, and they can stay at the place where they need to be as long as they need to be, so they can move forward successfully. I generally recommend 3 months because in 3 months, by meeting them weekly on Zoom, I mean, in person is possible too, but generally on Zoom is the best, is that you've got the privacy, you've got the space, and then we meet weekly because I want them to live the transformation. I don't want people to come, have a conversation, then leave, and then don't even remember what's going on. They always come, we do this, hard work, and then they take whatever we've gone through session, get a homework based on the conversations we had, and they go and apply. And that's the most important part, right? Apply the knowledge, the skills, whatever they've gotten within the session to get the results. It's the application piece. And obviously, they can reach me in between the sessions too. So I'm there to support them. And generally, 3 months, some people, even 5 weeks, and they turn their life around, which is just crazy, even to me, right? When I see those clients saying,
Yeah.
wow, like 5 weeks. And somebody said, well, I've been stuck in here for 5 years, and it took you only 5 weeks to turn me around, which is obviously very heartwarming, right? For me to see
Yeah.
that.
Well, I was just going to ask you, why are so many of us stuck? What is going on? Is it fear? Is it a combination of many things? I mean, do you see the same pattern time and time again with us, even though maybe if it's a career thing, if it's a personal thing, what normally is the overall thing that's holding us back, would you say?
Yeah, fear, I think you nailed it. Fear is pretty big, right? We are afraid of making a change because it's uncomfortable. It's something that's unknown, right? And then if you don't know where you're going, you rather choose the devil you know than the devil you don't know. And so people get a lot of um, stuckness by tolerating where they are, and they don't really have the desire of change, like the true. That's why I highlighted the words of truly what they want, because people think they want, I don't know, success or fame or I don't know, right? Whatever they want. But truly, do they want that? And you kind of peel all the layers of their own personal onion, you realize that's not really what they want. And they don't know that either, right? So it's just very personal. It just depends who they are and who they want to be and how they
Hmm.
want to show up.
So it's possible, right? I mean, look, I look back at the pandemic during COVID, and if you don't mind me asking, where you were and through all that. I mean, that just opened my eyes to like, wow, we are so vulnerable here in 2020. What? A virus gonna killing people? What's going on? You never thought this could happen, right? And here we are.
Yeah.
And like I heard about the plague, I read about that, when I was a child. I'm like, not in these times. We're so good with medicine, with and that was took so many of us for a whirlwind ride. The loss, people losing people, first and foremost, and then the loss of job, the loss of stability, and it was just like overwhelming. But the one thing that I'm grateful for is that it taught me that change is okay. You know what? Maybe it's things like that that make us, reinvent ourselves in a sense. And I feel, more appreciative of life and my family since then too. And my priorities have changed, to be honest.
Hmm. And your parties are your values too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because now you're looking at life through different lens and you're
Yeah.
seeing things that you didn't see before because we got so, brainwashed in some ways and, we don't see things in the same way, right? And with the pandemic, I was actually my son was born in October 2019, so I was just on
Oh
mat leave,
gosh. Yeah. Oh gosh.
which was actually great because my daughter was in kindergarten,
And
and then
now she was home, all right?
she was home, and so I said, well, you know, I was so grateful. I said, well, this couldn't be any better because I couldn't imagine being in the busy corporate life with all this panic in the workplace, trying to, homeschool and kindergartner,
Yeah.
right? And some people were there, but I was like, I'm so grateful I'm not because that's just insane. So I was on mat leave at the time, and it was great. I mean, we in Canada, we had, 18 months just shortly before that approved, so I was enjoying the time off. But
Well, how much do they give
obviously,
you in Canada?
18 months, yeah,
Are
18
you,
months of mat leave. Yeah, I know you guys can be jealous in the US.
we get
Yep,
like 8 weeks or 6 weeks.
yeah, yeah.
Is this paid? I'm just curious. Is it paid or is it like
Oh,
partial pay?
well, it's partial. It's partial. Yeah,
Wow,
it's
that is
partial.
beautiful. And do they do it for
Yeah.
men as well?
Yeah, there is some kind of, you can do some kind of share and stuff. So yeah, there are conditions how you can take
I
that
think I want to
leave
move to
out of there.
Canada. Wow.
So I mean that was a blessing in the sky, but at that time when the world was so stressed out. But
Yeah.
I just felt like, yeah, it is. It wasn't easy, but on the other hand, it brought so much more of, the development as well, and seeing, like, I was already coaching at that time, right? But I was still full-time employed. I mean, not counting the mat leave, but it was still, I was still in the kind of beginnings or halfway through the coaching world. And then everybody went online at the time, which,
Hmm.
that coaching also moved in some ways to people being more open to meeting strangers online and doing Zoom calls and, stuff like that.
Hence we're here today. Yeah, right?
That's where we are today. Zoom, everybody knows what it is, right?
Oh, well, I would love,
So,
I mean, it's up to you. We only have 5 minutes left in your show, but can you share a client experience or two? Because on your website, I have to point out there's some amazing success stories, and I could read some of them. People talking about your positive energy is infectious, always leaving the conversation feeling energized, excited for the future. They say you're extremely personable, warm-hearted, and thoroughly enjoy their time with you. That's from a Jessica. Some other people are talking about how they saw real changes in your life and with your outlook. And you helped this person realize what areas that they were doubting themselves, another Jessica, and holding back. And those areas you helped make them prioritize. And in that time, Jessica made changes to her budget, negotiated with my landlord, my employer, even managed to stick in a fitness routine, continued to stick to, also managed to secure a new job. So you really helped her realize what's important and not to compare yourself to others, which is always something difficult. So great
mhm.
success stories, but would you mind sharing one as well?
Yeah, no, definitely. As you said, there are lots, and I'm always so grateful for them. And it's just hard to say, what one person appreciates or what the other one would like or not. But I've got this amazing client who came to me that he wasn't happy at work, and then we realized it wasn't just work, right? The
Mm-hmm.
the, the first base was relationship, personal life story, and where he came from, and what his, again, values and belief systems were, and what he wanted to do. And he just turned his life around so fast and so dramatically that I just look at him like, wow, like those people become my inspiration too, when they come to me to help, getting help, and then I look up to them, say, wow, like this is something to see and look up to. So that is what I wanted to share too. There are, clients of mine who change jobs, get married, get divorced, lose ton of weight, get better, become better managers.
Oh, is that
Um,
you?
you know,
I'm sorry. Did you hear that? Hello, hello,
no,
hello.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I do hear music. I heard music in the background. I don't know what it was unless something popped up
No,
on my computer. I'm so sorry. Go ahead. That's why my face was like, what
yeah,
is that? Okay, go ahead.
yep, no, all good. No, all good. So yeah, that's what happens. Like it's any area of life, and then some people can question like, how is that possible? And I
Yeah, you're
always
like,
tell them it is because you're all human, right? You're all human, and so whatever you do as a human involves any area, whatever area of life you touch, right? So it doesn't. If they come to me as I want to be a better manager, I will say, well, we'll start with you because we need to see how you show up, who you are, what you appreciate, what you value, what is your belief system. And then once you discover that, we can work on you and how you manage people and how you're perceived by them and how you want to lead and what is your style, right? So it's kind of the beauty of being, transformation coach is to see how you can make a positive impact and change people's lives.
all right. Well, thank you so much. And unfortunately, we're out of time. Let's remind everyone of all the ways we can contact you. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Have a wonderful day.
Oh, let's mention the website, mention your phone number. I'm sorry. I want to make sure we mention all the ways we can reach out to you. I don't think you heard me.
No, I didn't. There was a system glitch, it looks like. So my website again is marketahuzel.com. And in case they want to follow me somewhere, the best place would be to join me on LinkedIn, yet again under my name. So Marketa Huzel on LinkedIn, and you can connect, and I'll be happy to chat.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a fantastic day. Pleasure getting to know you, and I hope we get to connect again, okay?
Thank you. Sounds good. Have a
Thank you.
great day.
You too.
Thanks.
Enjoy and take care of those babies. All right. I'll do the
Okay.
same. All right. Have a
Thanks.
great
Do the
day.
same.
Bye,
Okay.
Marketa. Thank you.
Bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.